Blades starts right now.
Ed, can you please do a video on the blades? Can you please help me figure out what the difference is with these blades? There's so many blades. I get comments like this around the clock. So today's video, we're actually going to be focusing on all the different types of blades, my experience with them, and what you should have on your station. All right? And we're going to talk about all brands. So let's get started. First, I think it makes sense to talk about these three blades in this order. Okay, so the first one here I got is a taper blade. It curves, and there's some advantages here. So if you're going to use a taper blade, you're going to notice that one, it's forgiving. Two, it's not going to just completely eviscerate the hair, and you're going to be able to get some really nice detailing done with this blade, especially if it's on a forgiving clipper. Now, this is an X-Ergo. This is a very forgiving clipper. One of my favorite clippers to put this on would be a Saber. The Saber has a 6-hour runtime, and it doesn't have a lot of torque either, which is what I want. I want a lower torque option when I have this taper blade on here. But one of the places this blade is going to struggle is when I put in a 5-0 skin line. I tap in a line with a trimmer. This is not going to be able to get close enough to remove that. So we're going to need something else. So let's talk about the other blade. Now this is just a regular Ergo. The regular Ergo has a fade blade on it. Now the fade blade is going to be what you're going to use to remove those really harsh skin lines. One of the things you can get into trouble with the fade blade is when you're trying to get in there and you're trying to detail. These blades cut really close and they will just eviscerate the hair, so they could cause you to make little mistakes at the end of your blend. So there's a time and a place for this. I would prefer to have both of these on my station at any time. However, there is something that's in the middle that's a very happy medium, so let's talk about it. Now, I don't know if you guys seen it, but I did the Tomb 45 battery and motor swap on this FX clipper. And one of the things that we realized right away was we didn't like the taper blade from the Babyliss clipper, so we actually put this Fusion blade on here. Now, if you notice, the Fusion blade has all these ridges on it, and it actually is a lot more forgiving than a regular fade blade. And this is why a lot of people are choosing to put this Fusion top blade on a lot of different units. So the Fusion blade will pretty much fit on every clipper brand except for Andis. So I've seen people put them on JRL, I've seen people put them on Wall, Babyliss, and they're gonna fit without a problem. All you gotta do is change the top blade. Now these blades are available for purchase, just the top blade, and you can try them out. But there's something very special about this blade, and it just makes that portion of detailing, removing dark spots, and getting out harsh lines pretty easy. So if I only had to pick one, which I'm telling you, you want a taper blade on your station, but if I was only gonna pick one, I certainly would pick this one. But this blade is just kind of revolutionary technology, and it's making life super easy. So don't take my word for it. A lot of other YouTubers are out here talking about it. It's definitely a bit of a game changer. Okay, so this is a Babyliss Low Pro. This is probably one of their better clippers in my opinion. I really like the shape of it, the weight of it, and it compares pretty closely, aside from the blade, it compares pretty closely to the Rebel, which is my personal favorite clipper. You'll notice that Sterling had to swap this blade. He swapped it for a fade blade, but it came with a wedge blade. Now, this wedge blade from Babyliss, almost nobody likes it. Almost everybody I know that has a Low Pro, this is one of the first things they did. They took it off because they can't get down to those harsh skin lines and they can't remove those lines with this blade. However, if you're using this blade in the right way, this blade is actually pretty cool. It's a lot like a taper blade. And if you use Babyliss Low Pro and you use this with a taper blade, if you have another one with a fade blade, that's just an excellent combo for you guys to fade. So I actually really like this blade. I think it's a good blade, but you can't get by with only this blade. And a lot of people, again, are putting that Fusion blade, or as we're calling it now, the Faper blade, on their Low Pros, and they're having some good times with those. So I enjoy that combination. And shout out to Babyliss for this blade because it's actually a good blade when it's used the right way. I think it would only make sense to address some trimmer blades before we go. And we're gonna do this all at the same time, and it's not gonna take very long. First, I want to talk about Babyliss blades. The Gold FX blade was a game changer. There's no way around it. It was definitely one of the best blades ever made, and still is one of the best blades there is on the market today, period. All right, which is why we put it on practically everything in the shop for quite a while. I mean, I even have it on a wall detailer, and if you notice, this blade is a Gold FX blade, but this is the Patty Cuts special edition that I bought, and it came with the DLC 2.0 blade. I don't know why Babyliss is still pushing these DLC blades, but these blades are in no way, shape, or form comparable to the Gold FX blade. So one of the things that really hurts with Babyliss is when you buy some of their products, they come with those DLC blades, and then these blades are almost $50 a piece. So you're in for $50 more on top of an already expensive unit. However, it's worth the money. I'm telling you, these are great blades, and if you use them, you're going to enjoy them. Now, a lot has been going on with Gamma and Stylecraft in regards to blades. I've been personally using so many different blades from them. We've tested tons of prototypes, and finally we have some stuff that can really compare with the Gold FX blade. It's just as good, if not better, in some situations. So what you're gonna see on the Saber is there's actually a blade called the One Blade. It's the moving blade, it's the cutter. All right, and then they have Gold X Pro blades, and the Gold X Pro blades, when coupled with the One Blade, is going to provide the best performance, period. So I'm going to shout out a blade that's still in the prototype stage. All right, this is going to be coming to market pretty soon, but this is a slimline, and this slimline blade was one of my favorite blades to use for a long time. Very small, very maneuverable, and in fact, in some ways, I would say that this trimmer was so far ahead of its time when it came out. Like, I couldn't believe the performance that we were getting out of a cordless trimmer. And for some reason, no one's really ran and made a blade like this again, and this is one of my favorite blades that I've ever used. So, Gamma and Stylecraft have realized that the need for that type of blade is there, and there's definitely some advantages to having a smaller blade. So I've actually have one. A lot of you guys who've been watching my lives and you've been watching a lot of my videos, you see that I'm using this, but there's some advantages to getting in people's vertical bars that are a little bit short, and it's just really maneuverable. It's fun to use for designs and all kind of other things. So this is a blade that's not available yet, but it is definitely coming down the pipe. So shout out to the Slimline for coming up with that blade. Love it. And shout out to Gamma and Stylecraft for kind of recognizing the need for this. And I think a lot of people are going to wind up using this blade on all the different Stylecraft trimmers. But this one used on the Saber, it's really a hard blade to beat. These X Pro blades are fantastic. They really bring some superior performance to both your hitter, protege, pretty much everything Gamma or Stylecraft. And just want to point out real quick that everything Gamma or Stylecraft is interchangeable. So if you want to swap out these blades, the tops, the cutters, you're not going to have any problems doing that. For me, the number one trimmer blade is going to be Gold FX Saber when accompanied with the One Blade. If you have that combination, it's hard to beat. And personally, I'm going to say that I like the Saber a little bit more. I felt like it was a more gentle blade, but still cut just as close as the Gold FX. So that's number one for trimmer, and very close second, Gold FX. A lot of people are going to interchange those. When the Sabers are available to everybody, you guys are going to see a lot of people starting to use that blade. Now for the clippers, the number one blade out there is definitely the Fusion blade, or as we're calling it now, the Faper blade. That blade just has so many advantages to using. And as far as picking a taper blade, my favorite taper blade is the Onyx one that comes from Gamma. That's just the best taper blade. Personally, I love it. It never gets hot. It doesn't give you problems. It doesn't snag, doesn't pull. And it's not as expensive as some of the other taper blades that are out there. So those are my two favorite clipper blades. Those are my two favorite trimmer blades. And I hope that you guys got something from this video. And if you like videos that are super technical, super in-depth like this, let me know. Smash that like button, hit that thumbs up, and don't miss these lives. I'm going live really often, and we're doing full walkthroughs. It's very interactive. You guys can ask questions, and I can go ahead and I can answer those questions right there on the fly while we're doing these haircuts. You guys are going to learn a lot from the walkthroughs, and also don't be afraid to jump in my membership. Eddie's Army is growing strong. We're already almost up to 40 members, so thank you so much. And what we're doing with the memberships is we're delivering full, entire haircuts to the members, and then the public, they're gonna get a much more stripped down version of that same haircut. And also members are gonna get it first, and you're gonna get priority with the comments. And you're also going to be able to make suggestions where I could just make videos specifically for you, specifically for the membership. We're gonna be dropping some vlogs there. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna get to know each other a little bit more. So if you wanna jump on the Eddie's Army train, please do. I appreciate all of you guys for subscribing. I appreciate all of you guys who are members. I'll catch you guys in the next video. This is Mr. Eddie Barber. This is the YouTube Barber Academy, and I'm out of here. Peace.